everyone, and welcome to the review on the Threezero 1/6 scale Curse of Michael Myers. Michael Myers figure has just been released, and I'm sure most of you guys are going to be getting yours in soon. And for those of you that are on the fence about it, I'll let you know my thoughts. But we'll start off with the accessories. I don't usually like to do that because I just find it friggin' boring, but here we go. We'll get it over with because there's really not much here to talk about. You got yourself a more bloody knife as opposed to the really clean one that he's holding. You've got some really nice detail on the handle. It is a metal knife, so that's very nice. This little tomahawk axe, whatever you want to call it, is actually plastic, I think. It's certainly not metal, but that's nice. I actually have my 47 Hitman figure holding that at the moment. Some relaxed hands that have these kind of weird little hairs on them at the moment. I need to pick these off, but they came like that. I don't know. I guess the paint was wet and the hands got a little hairy. Yeah, his boots are really nice. This ain't going to be the longest review because he's a very simple figure. I've done a lot of photography with him, so there's going to be a lot of pictures with the poses, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the guy. But it is a nice figure, and from certain angles I think it does look a lot like the original, especially from the side. And you'll see in some of the pictures I took in the house, trying to get it to look like he's just walking through the house stalking his next victim. But he's very nice. Looks awesome from the side. He's a bit kind of, I gotta say, he's a bit ugly from the front. I don't really tend to ever display him since I've had him looking dead on straight. And I mentioned this on a comment to someone on Facebook, but he does remind me a little bit, especially, let me just spike his hair up before I tell you. He does remind me a little bit of the singer from Roxette, as in that band that sung that song, She's Got the Look. But it's good that you can, you know, mess around with the hair because it really does affect the way he looks. Yeah, you'll see throughout the video and the photography that I have changed the hair sort of styling for a lot of the shots just to kind of mix it up and make it look different, and let you see how the different the looks can work and the effect it has on the figure. The overalls are very nice, really nicely detailed, really cool weathering. His joints can be a bit loose, like here for instance. You see how I'm trying to move his arm like that and it just falls back again? That bugs me. You could always change the body, I guess, but you shouldn't really have to. So I guess the body they've used here isn't the highest quality, but it does have the ratchets in the elbows, so they'll hold the pose. It's just the sort of turn feature that he has. Where's that? I guess that's just at the elbow. That's a bit loose. But he stands up well by himself because of the really good sturdy boots with real laces. Go ahead and have a look at that. Really fine work on those. Hell of a lot of paint and dirt and weathering on his boots as well. But I'll tell you, I am really keen to get this review done and uploaded so that I can get to work on customizing him. Obviously I didn't want to do any of that before I review it because I need to review the stock figure for you guys so that you see what you're going to get if you get him. But I will be doing some work. Like I mentioned in the unboxing, I'm going to paint the lips white. Not too white, like an off-white like the rest of him. But I just don't really like the blue lips. And I might darken the inside, or the eye holes in here, so that it's just more dark and sort of freaky looking. Great head tilt. Really good. And he can look up really far, which is good. A few poses downstairs where I made it look like he might have heard someone's footsteps coming from the floor above, and he kind of stopped on his tracks and just looked up. It's kind of creepy. You could do some good stop motion with this guy, but I'm actually going to save the stop motion side of things until I get my Silent Surfer head and the overalls and a body. I need to get that all sorted out, but I have actually got pretty much all of it sorted now. It's just a matter of waiting for it all to get done and pay off the last bit of payment on it. I can't believe I'm going to have that Silver Surfer. I keep doing that, damn it. Sorry dude if he's watching. The Silent Surfer head sculpt. Well, actually it's the Mad Bug head sculpt that's been repainted by Silent Surfer. God damn, it's confusing. But yeah, sick piece. And it will certainly tide me over until I get the real deal from the original movie. Alright, let's take a look at Michael Myers on the horror shelf. The rest of his horror buddies. You've got Vampirella, and you've got Freddy, and the Wolfman, Werewolf, whatever you want to call him. I might need to track myself down a good Jason Voorhees. I'll probably end up grabbing that Sideshow one. I hear the mask isn't removable, so that's disappointing. I might hold off because of that and see what I can figure out in the future. Not desperately after a Jason. It would just be nice to have the horror trinity. This is the old Freddy. He's been totally repainted, totally weathered, and when I mean weathered, I mean I went as far as burying him in the back garden in mud up to his neck and left him there overnight, buried, and he came out looking like this. Well, it took some paint as well. I had to do all kinds of stuff. Obviously, he's been scuffed and taken a knife to him and everything. Just really, really grimy Freddy. Really, really cool. I'm really happy with him, but I am getting the new one by Sideshow Collectibles. I am pretty disappointed with it, but I do see potential as far as modding goes. It's like I said, it's really fun to, you know, weather and repaint some of the horror characters. And someone like Freddy, because of the nature of the way his face looks, you can actually go in and, you know, add as much detail as you want. Also a bit of varnish and gloss to make him look a bit wet and slimy some places. Also pretty nice. But yeah, I still really love this figure. And this one, you can remove the hat. You can't remove the hat on the new Sideshow Freddy, but I think the reason probably for that was because when you do remove the hat on this one, it scratches away the paint eventually, so that might be the reason why. But I am going to go ahead and rip off the hat off the new one and try putting this one on instead, because I want it to sit lower like this one is. But I really do think that's still a very impressive piece for such an old figure. He turns out well when you repaint him and weather him up. Yep. Love the cool models. Werewolf, fantastic piece. And the TB League, or used to be called Fire Sin, with a repainted hair, black hair version of the Hot Toys Scarlet Witch head. She is friggin' gorgeous, forget about it. Yeah, there he is. Let's carry on. Poseability wise, his arms are holding up well here, just got them stretched out to the sides. There's no chance of them falling down. Good, sturdy joints around the kind of shoulder section. Again, great ratcheted joints on the elbow. It doesn't seem to be a double bend. That's as far as I'm going to get that, but this bit's really loose as far as this kind of thing, so if you want to have him in the classic about to stab you kind of pose, I've been having trouble with that. Like say if you want to get him like this, it just keeps falling down. Like, there we go. God damn it. Leg articulation. Not too bad, and that kind of reminds me of a scene from the film called Cyborg, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know what I'm talking about? Let me know. Yep, so he's about to drop that knife right on your ass. Look at that. It's ridiculous, I know, but just showing you can spread his legs or do high kicks. Whoop-ah! I was just doing the knee articulation. I was going to get him to kind of kneel down, and I was wondering if his boots would allow to go like this, and they do. That's really cool. I mean, even though the boots go up quite high, specifically that high, you can still manipulate them and move them to get all the articulation you need. So we can get him kneeling down like this, or whatever pose you might want to try and come up with. If you had like a gravestone or something for him to kneel in front of, and all kinds of stuff. Michael Myers is a fun one to pose. So you can just come up with all kinds of, unleash your evil side with this guy. Stabby, stabby, stab. They do give you a left and a right hand for holding the knife, so you could dual wield the blades if you so desire, which is something I don't know if I've ever seen Myers do before. Maybe in a movie. I haven't seen every Halloween film. I've seen about 3/4 of them, but not every single one. There's one apparently that's a comedy with the one they did after H2O. It's listed as a comedy under the genre, so I was like, a comedy Michael Myers movie? I don't know if I'm really up for watching that. But yeah, dual wielding. Looks pretty sweet. I don't know, maybe I might display him like that at some point, change the pose up a little bit. But yeah, it's cool that they gave you an option. You can either hold the knife in the left or the right, or both. And there's those little hairs that I was talking about. Fresh out of the box, he had these kind of hairs stuck to the paint on his hands. You can just peel that away. It's fine. A clean knife, very nicely done. And the bloody knife, also very nicely done. However, I'm going to go ahead and add some blood to that. The old red. I use, I guess last time I used like a water-based red paint. Mixed it with a bit of water, put it on a paintbrush, not a paintbrush, a toothbrush, and just kind of flick the bristles, and you get this really fine, tiny little speck, really realistic blood spray. You don't want to go too crazy with it, and if you want bigger kind of drops of blood, then you change your technique or change the tool that you're using to do it, but it's a lot of fun weathering horror figures. So I'll be doing a fair bit of work to him, and I'll keep you posted on that as soon as I've got it all done. However, I am getting Jin Erso from Rogue One by Hot Toys tomorrow, more than likely. So I'm going to be busy with that for a few days. And here he is with crazy spiky hair, and the collar is down, just to show you what he looks like with the collar down. Trying to cover everything. I personally always prefer Michael Myers to have his collar up. Some movies he does, some movies he doesn't, I guess. And the hair style kind of varies a bit from scene to scene, from film to film. I don't think it's ever quite looked like this, but I just wanted to show you. But yeah, the collar down look. Let's go ahead and fix this hair. Sweet. So yeah, collar down. Doesn't look too bad. Actually, that does look pretty cool with the collar down. But there you go, just so you can see. Okay, so my final thoughts are, if you are a Halloween fan and you're kind of really itching to get yourself a 1/6 scale Michael Myers, it's not really an expensive figure. I think most people in America at least are getting this for $150. I got it for $150 over here in the UK, but I had to get it from someone in Hong Kong, so I found it on eBay, and it was like $140, but I wanted the EMS speed shipping, and that was an extra £10, so it came to $150 altogether, which I thought was more than fair. The body, as I've said, is a bit cheap feeling and a bit loose in places, but he does stand up really well. I've had no problems with loose joints on the legs. It's just that one kind of turn bit here, that's a bit loose, but the actual ratchets in the elbow are very strong, and that's ratcheted as well. You can get some great movement out of that, same as you'd expect with most Hot Toys figures. The overalls are really well done, great quality, great weathering and blood work, all soaked into his overalls, very nicely done. The hair on the mask is very nice to work with. It looks a little bit kind of fake, but you could easily put a tiny bit of product in that just to make it look a little bit more greasy and nasty. However, I'm not too sure if it's really meant to be. In some of the films, it really just does look like this kind of, obvious Halloween mask kind of hair. So it's actually alright, but you can obviously do whatever you want. You can style it, you can have him looking like the guy from Roxette, like I said, or you can have him looking like Michael Myers, so all kinds of fun to be had. The hands, really cool, but obviously they're not going to work if you're trying to put together a original Halloween, 78 Myers. They're way too Freddy Krueger looking. Yeah, and all the weathering and gunk on his boots, really impressive. And I love the box as well, but if you've seen the unboxing, that's the back of the box, by the way. The front of the box is just, there's the side, has basically what's on the front. Really, really nice box though, I love that. And I love the effect of seeing Michael Myers' mask. Really, really simple but very cool design. So yeah, I would recommend it. As far as whether we're ever going to get an official 78 Myers from a company, it probably will happen one day. But it certainly does seem to be just something that for some reason is hard to happen. It's hard to get that license, maybe, I don't know. Sideshow Collectibles did an original Myers quite a few years back. I've got that one, heavily modified it and done all kinds of customization to it. It's awful. So like I said, I'm finally getting myself a Silent Surfer repainted head by Madbug, and yeah, the outfit by, was it Yulsim? I think that's how you pronounce it. He's like apparently the best guy. He's like Rain Man's tailor or something. Sick work. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on all of that as it happens. But yeah, I'd recommend it. Like I said, it's only about $150 or £150. depending on where you find it, so it's not going to break the bank too much. And it will go very nicely with the rest of your horror figures if you have any, or it's a great place to start as well. So if you're itching for your horror fix, especially because Halloween's getting closer, it's also my birthday on Halloween, so lucky me, double trouble. But yeah, I recommend it. I'll give it a good 8 out of 10 if I was going to score it. I don't like scoring it, but if you want to score, there's your score. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Great piece. My first Threezero figure, by the way. I've never had anything by them before, so I'm quite impressed. Well done, Threezero. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned. Hot Toys Gin Urso coming real soon.